Okay. So good evening, guys. Everyone from all the way from Bombay to Delhi to Bhopal, whatever college you are from. So hope you guys had a great Christmas weekend. With 2022 ending, this is Coders Roundtable last event for the year. Now, under the aegis of ECEL IIT Madras, today we have our speaker, Mrs. Shweta Ojha. She pursued postgraduate DCA in business and banking and business finance. She's a LinkedIn coach who has coached over 10,000 individuals, including professionals, industry leaders, entrepreneurs, SME owners, and freelancers. She's a mentor at Atal Innovation Mission and a host at LinkedIn Local Thane. Now, we don't really realize being first year and second year students how important LinkedIn is today. It is today the professional career and the opportunities it offers us. So, understanding that a common issue that we all face today, Course Roundtable have organized this session. So, with that, I'll pass on the mic to Mrs. Shweta ma'am. Shweta ma'am, all the way to you. Yes, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to everyone who's watching, and do give me a heads up if you can hear me very clearly, so that we are good to go. And my apologies for the delay, and thank you for holding up. This is going to be a highly engaging session. Why I've used these three highly adjectives, because I'm so glad that you guys have organized this for first year and second year students. And if the audience, you, the first year and second year students, do actually get a couple of takeaways from this session and actually go ahead and implement and leverage LinkedIn, you would definitely beat the competition. Why I'm saying so? Because hardly 2% of LinkedIn users are actively engaging on LinkedIn and creating content. So you, by math, you understand, right? You've crossed the 98% of competition just by leveraging the platform in a very effective manner. Not just hanging around on LinkedIn is going to do any good. One needs to be a little strategic, one needs to be focused, one needs to be consistent, and one needs to come out of the comfort zone and do the needful to actually leverage the platform the way it should be. Now, I got to know a couple of questions that you guys had, and those were directed mostly to how to connect with people, how to write content, and so on and so forth. And I've seen quite a few experienced professionals making this mistake, jumping right into the content piece and connection piece without emphasizing on understanding as to whom are you targeting, why are you targeting, who are you, and how do you wish to project yourself. These are the fundamentals that we don't ponder on, we don't build the foundations right, and we just jump into the platform left, right, and center, and then it falls flat on our face. So please,
Right.
guys, you are in a scenario where you can avoid that. You are in a scenario where you can make your share of mistakes because you are still learning, because you are still student. Nobody is going to judge you as a professional, or you will not be scared of uh, losing a job for some mistake that you've done by posting something irrelevant on social media or things like that. So you've got a good 3 years of learning, and trust me, by investing time on LinkedIn, there is a whole lot of learning that also happens, because it's not just the topics or the content that we are absorbing. It is also we are observing people, we are observing how they are behaving, we are observing how they are responding. So be very mindful when it comes to your journey on LinkedIn. Very quickly, I'll just share my presentation for you all. I hope it's visible. Just give me
Yes,
a
ma'am. It is.
super. I have intentionally used getting acquainted, because before you grow, you should get acquainted. So you can't really grow and you shouldn't grow the way it should be. So I will very much, you might be having a set of friends, family members, extended family, your college mates, your schoolmates as your inner circle. People where you are visible, people who know you or have touched you at some point in time. But when we are talking about the world's largest global networking platform, and if you leverage it correctly, you will become from being invisible to the outside world to being unignorable. So whether you like it or not, you can't just ignore me. There is a substance attached to whatever I'm sharing. There is a credibility attached to me. This is how we need to build our personal brand. Personal brand कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है that you just package yourself and put it out there on LinkedIn and that is what you call personal brand. Personal brand is actually personality development happening right there live on LinkedIn. And I will explain what do I mean by that. Now, the stages of journey on LinkedIn is the first stage that you should always focus on. And for first year students, a stage which is before visibility is what I would call as learning. So first just explore or learn. Then once you have consolidated as with clarity as to what you want to build as a personal brand, what is your objective to being on LinkedIn, that's when you decide on visibility. Because with clarity, your visibility becomes much easier. Otherwise, you will keep shouting on the hallway and you will not get the attention of the right kind of people that you want to influence or connect with. So the first stage that you guys should focus on is visibility. With visibility, even if you are highly credible, but you're not visible, आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है कॉलेज में, you've done some incredible projects, you have handled some leadership positions in different groups, etc. There is an echo happening. Can we avoid that? So if there is, I would request everyone to kindly mute themselves. Yeah, thank you so much. So even if you're highly credible, positioning that on LinkedIn will make you visible. But yes, the moment you talk about, okay, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, done that, for a stranger, it will take some time to build that credibility in you. And you will have to work your way around, showcase your expertise every single day to build that trust. So the first stage is visibility. The second stage is credibility. And if you guys tell me through the comments that if you are visible and if you're highly credible, do you think the opportunities and monies and whatever can come your way? Is profitability bound to happen or no? Yes or yes? Because if I'm able to find a person who is highly popular, who's highly visible, and has got incredible, reputation, professional reputation, then wouldn't I hire a person or wouldn't I give the person a chance with my product or service? Yes. So the first step from visibility to credibility to profitability is the right way. Now, mistakes that people make is that they want to jump from visibility to profitability without giving that gestation period to visibility से profitability जाने का. Credible नहीं होते, but visible होते ही उनको लगता है कि अब it's time for us to make money. You will make money, but it is not a long haul game. It is not a game that will yield you professional reputation. I keep telling to my clients, I keep telling to students that LinkedIn is where your digital representation is happening of your professional reputation. So how do you want to digitally represent your professional reputation is up to you. And that is going to make or break in terms of how people treat you, whether they treat you credible, whether they trust in you. That's where businesses are going to come out. That's where funding is going to come out. That's where job opportunities are going to come out. So please, guys, be patient, invest time in building that credibility over a period of time. So don't jump from visibility to profitability right there. Now, just a spoiler alert, this session particularly is not going to be a hand-holding tutorial. Go there, click that, and you guys are tech guys. You are smart enough to do that on your own. But what I have seen, even tech founders, I have got a couple of CTOs as my client also, and I see that there is not much of an understanding of how we should go about maneuvering this platform. Now, before I begin any further, all the students here, have you ever been to any networking meetup? If yes, just put a yes in the comments. Okay. If you have been to any networking event, I would urge you to think about LinkedIn exactly as a real-time networking event. And I will draw a lot of analogies from these two. And you would understand why this makes so much sense. So, if you are using LinkedIn, you have to show up. By showing up, I do not mean that you have to post content regularly every single day. You have to sit on LinkedIn almost 12 hours a day. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is consistent efforts in whatever manner you can. If you can invest 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, do that consistently. That's
Yeah.
what my idea is. Content creation is not the first step. Content creation is not the first step. And I'll tell you why it should not be the first step. Now, what to expect? I will try and showcase how you can leverage LinkedIn powerfully and what are the do's and don'ts that you should be very cautious about. Now, is it okay, guys? And give me some comments to help me understand. If I take just about 10 to 20 seconds to talk about why the hell you should even listen to me, will that be okay? Just if any essays come, do let me know because I can't see.
Yeah, ma'am, actually, I'm getting DMs that the session is pretty good.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you. So, guys,
yeah,
there's a specific reason. I've been introduced, and you get to see my LinkedIn profile, and you would understand. Uh, I am a LinkedIn coach and consultant, but there is a journey behind what I'm doing currently, and the reason I wish to share this with you is if this motivates you one bit to get on LinkedIn, create an optimized profile, start engaging, and get the takeaways from this session, I'll be highly grateful. Guys, I did not have a LinkedIn profile till 2016 because after doing my PG within 6 months, I got married and I was a homemaker for 20 plus years. I had no professional stance whatsoever. Since I was not a professional, there was no need for me to create a LinkedIn account. And that's where, I was. In the 20 plus years of my journey as a homemaker, and I still am a homemaker, but during that, I was so domesticated in my thoughts, I had no contact whatsoever with the professional world. So, drafting my first corporate email to building the LinkedIn profile to achieving whatever little that I've been able to achieve and come right in front of you is nothing but a magic, if you ask me. So the point I'm trying to make here is, guys, if I started at 41 years of age and if I could accomplish so much by using LinkedIn, I was initially working for an HR consulting firm as a business development executive, and I have generated a gazillion amount of leads from LinkedIn. So trust me, you can, if you start early and you are really, really focused, if you observe people, if you learn from people, definitely there's so much that you can do to stand out from the crowd. There are three primary pillars on LinkedIn growth. Now we are talking about growing on LinkedIn. And as I mentioned about clarity, guys, this word plays an important role in whatever you're doing on LinkedIn, right from your LinkedIn profile to your content to the comments that you post to the DMs that you make. everything is linked into clarity, is linked to clarity. Now, why we need this clarity? How do you want people to perceive you as? Now you will say, मैंने तो सोचा ही नहीं, मैं तो student हूँ. Fine. You may not have clarity as of now. You may be exploring as of now, but keep that at the back of your mind to start finding answers. Who you are, who do you wish to help, how do you wish to help, which are the industries and domains that interests you, which are the industries and domains that you want to explore, which are the causes that you relate with, which are the influencers that you relate with and the topics that you relate with. How do you want to project yourself if this industry, this niche, this domain is where you want to get an opportunity? These questions need to be answered, and that clarity you may have, you may not have as of now, but please keep that at the back of your mind and try and find answers. And trust me, you will not be able to define clearly from the version 1. There'll be a lot of iterations for clearly defining your positioning on LinkedIn. But like, you have students who support diversity and inclusion, you have students who support climate change, you have students who support, so that can be again a piece of clarity to create your identity in a way. Now with clarity, the second pillar is content. And by content, I mean not just the post that you write, whatever you are writing on your profile, whatever you are writing while commenting on other people's posts, whatever you are writing while DMing. Please, guys, treat this as a piece of content, because your professional reputation is at a stake. People are judging you. So you have written a very thoughtful post, used the chat GPT and used all those AI tools and drafted a really beautiful post. But if it is not the manner in which you day-to-day converse, if it is not exactly reflecting your thoughts, pakad lenge log. And that's where you will lose trust. And if you want to travel the distance from visibility to credibility, this is a mistake that you should avoid. So whenever you are writing content means every piece of content that is written while engaging on LinkedIn. Now, if you read my DM, if you read my comment on any other post, you can go and check out my activity. And if you find that whatever she has written in as comment or as DM or in the post is not in complete synergy, then you would definitely not want to trust me. Is that true? Yeah. So that's where you need clarity. Because if I have clarity, like I am a personal branding strategist, but I am specifically confined to LinkedIn platform. I do know a thing or two about digital marketing and social media marketing and so on and so forth. I can also help, but I have defined myself as a personal branding strategist for LinkedIn. That's it. There are a hell lot of leads that come my way talking about hum Google ads kar sakte hain, we can do FB ads, we can do SEO, we can do so on and so forth. And I deny, because this is what, with clarity, I want to proceed. That when people think about LinkedIn, they think about me. This is what we call as personal brand. So slowly and gradually, as you keep eliminating, this is not what I want, this is not what I want, this is not what I want, you will filter out things that you want, and thereby you would be able to accomplish as to how do you wish to position yourself. Consistency, I've already spoken about. Now, there is a myth that consistency means all 7 days. I do believe that by engaging, I mean responding to DMs, commenting on other people's posts. It doesn't take too much of a time. You should be doing it on an everyday basis. So comment on at least 3 relevant posts and at least respond to or connect with 3 relevant people every single day. I'm keeping it as low as this. But when it comes to writing post, what my belief is, if you think that 3 times a week is possible for you, is doable for you, where you could churn out good quality content, then stick to that consistency. If you think you can do it 7 days, well and good. But if you can't, don't just fill in, because you are ruining your reputation in a way. You're not standing out from the crowd. You're just doing for the heck of the likes and comments, which will do you no good in terms of building your personal brand. Personal brand is not equal to being popular. Let me repeat that. Personal brand is not equal to becoming popular. If you're very popular, you're not going to be hired by the dream companies at the dream positions. No, that's not the way it works. Now, define your niche clearly. When I talk about clarity, these are the questions that you need to ask yourself, and come back to the drawing board every now and then and refine. Once you get the good version, and it'll take good 10 odd versions, trust me, you will come up with your elevator pitch. You will come up with a very specifically defined elevator pitch. What you're good at, if you can't define that as of now, what do you want to explore? Once you start exploring, you would understand what you're good at. Now, if you are looking out for jobs, then where would you want to work? Now, if you are looking at entrepreneurship, whom would you want to work with? So these are the fundamental questions that you should be asking, which will help you define your niche. When you start on LinkedIn, and if you really don't have the clarity from the day one, then this is the process that you should follow. Just go and explore and come back to the drawing board with these questions and try and answer them. Obviously, everyone knows it's there on Google, these things you should do, but why? Obviously, tech people know customizing your URL means anybody, if you're very active on LinkedIn, people will find you through Google searches. Right? Now, that's really powerful. You can, if anybody can Google you and the first page, they get to see your LinkedIn profile link, it's powerful, right? And that will only be possible with clarity, content, and consistency. Now, recent semi-formal headshot, guys, a tie and whatever is not expected from a student, and a funky looking attire is also not expected from a student on LinkedIn. So there are some fundamentals that I believe this is something which I don't need to talk at great length. You guys can figure out. When you are customizing your URL, I would urge you to refrain from fancy words like, builder, coach, tech, something like that, because you may not know how your career is going to progress or where you're going to land up 3 years or 5 years down the line. So I would urge you to use your name. That is permanent. Now, if you can use different combinations if your name is taken, like the way I have done. Profile photo, guys, there is a concept and the data points are here for you to see why profile photo is important. I see a lot of profile pics looking this way. And again, I'll come back to this analogy of treating you on LinkedIn as you on a real-time networking platform. Would you ever go and approach someone who's looking this way and say a hi? Would you do that? Or start a conversation? The first human connection that you make with any of your reader who lands on your profile is through profile pic. That's the only place where you make a real-time human connections. And now with profile video, all the more real-time it is. So please, I do not want you to go to professional photographers and do all that fancy stuff. Just a plain background, your headshot. Why your headshot? because your profile photo shows when you search, there's a tiny hole that is seen, you know. So if you have a clear headshot with a plain background, it pops up. It's identifiable through that tiny hole. That's the reason why we ask people to shoot a headshot. Always a smiling photo. Definitely you're human, you're joyful, you're cheerful, you have a positive attitude. It should be reflected. Again, if in a real time networking event, would you go and approach a snob, or would you go and approach someone who has a warm smile, making an eye contact? True. So that's the reason why you should have a headshot, plain background, and please don't use cropped photos, sunglasses, nothing. Because there is a whole lot of research behind body language. So if you're not looking eye to eye, if you are not taking off the sunglasses, and people can read. People can read a lot about your confidence. People can read a lot about your. They can also make assumptions that okay, body language is not very promising. Never ever take a full length photograph. Nobody is interested in your figure and what you're wearing. So a clear headshot looking straight to the audience with a warm smile. So treat yourself as you're standing in a real-time networking event where you have your exact target audience and you want to impress each one of them. Right? There are different touch points even before people land on your profile. So before they even get to your profile, they see you in the search results. They see you when they're scrolling on the news feed. They see you when you send a connection request. They see you when you are sending a DM. They also see you in the people you may know category. So there are different places where you show up. Only your profile pic and your headline is visible. If you are able to entice your audience to come to your profile, you need to have a really what should I say, promising profile pic and a very clear headline. I've used the word impressive, but don't take impressive as in, impressive. It needs, see, the best impression that you can make as a human psychology is being very clear in your messaging. जब आप सिंपल होते हो, जब आप क्लियर होते हो, तो अगला हमेशा आपसे सबसे ज्यादा इम्प्रेस होता है. There is a myth that you need to use fancy words, you need to use emojis and special characters and all that bullshit. No. The clearer the clarity of the message in a very succinct manner is what we need in the headline. Obviously, keywords. So if there are any internships that you're aspiring, look up in the LinkedIn job section. Okay, the recent jobs. Look at their job roles, the job responsibilities that they have mentioned. Try and extract some keywords that you resonate with and use them in your headline. I have used some very basic ones like finance major seeking investment banking internships. Now, this is very clear. I know it is not relevant to the tech field, but with tech, you can have some really amazing keywords. I have just today put up a post regarding how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile with relevant keywords. So guys, do check out that recent post. You will get a lot of idea. And if you have some queries, you can always DM me. Now, I have just cited certain examples of students here. So how banner, a photograph, and guys, I want you to respond. Out of the three, which is the photograph that suits the bill? The first one on the left, center one, or the one on the right? Just answer me on the comments, or anybody in the room can also answer. So which you think out of the three has the best profile pic, the most relevant? Any answer so far? I believe the center one has the best relevant profile pic because it stands out. It's a proper headshot, smiling with a plain background. Now you
Yeah.
see, identifying this guy, this lady, and this, which one is easier? You can still make out. If you get to see her somewhere, you'd still be able to make out through this small tiny hole, right? But here, since they do not have the plain backgrounds, you really feel the need to zoom in and check out, right? as
Correct.
far as as far as the backgrounds is concerned, especially students who are doing any kind of side hustle, if you're a content writer or if you're a designer or if you're a YouTuber or if you're anything else, please leverage that strength area of yours to demonstrate your identity here. So this gentleman has presence on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So he has mentioned that. Then this lady is managing some leadership positions in her college. So she has leveraged that. Highlighting the college that you represent is also one way of utilizing the banner and attracting the attention. When anybody looks at your profile pic and headline at different stages that we spoke about, the moment they click, this is where that they land. Okay. So if this is the place that they land, you have to make sure that they are equally inquisitive to scroll further and go through your profile. So what makes a person, like, I found the headline interesting, I found the photograph interesting, and when I landed, it was a flat kind of a looking, visibly not appealing. Okay. So make it relevant while make it visibly appealing. I will not be able to take up at great lengths as to how you can create the LinkedIn banner and so on and so forth in this particular session. But for people who do not know, you can use Canva. I have used Canva, and now there are a whole lot of other tools also available for creating LinkedIn banners in a jiffy. The fun thing that I have been asked enormous times while addressing students, we do not have illustrious background, we do not have too much to talk about. So what perhaps can we write in the about section or summary as we call it? हम क्या लिखेंगे? हाँ, बस कुछ भी नहीं है लिखने को. So if you've traveled a journey of 16 years, you've done something that you can talk about. Now if you're not able to consolidate your accomplishments, consolidate your learning, that also talks about weak leadership attitude. Okay. And this doesn't go well. So try and put a little bit of introduction as to, what has been your journey so far and what is that you aspire to do. You can add in a dash of your personal life, that maybe these are the causes that I resonate with, or these are the activities that I do when I'm not studying. A little bit of hobby, but don't elaborate it too much. Just a dash, because you're human and people like to relate with humans. Your topics that you are interested in. So you can also talk about that these are the topics that I love conversing about, I love researching about, I love doing these. If you have done some work on these topics, you can showcase your expertise. So if you've done some projects, if you've handled whatever small that may be, please do not get intimidated. As I shared in my journey, I was a newbie. People didn't care if I did a post graduation 21 years back. Okay. In fact, I also did relational database management system, and I was doing Oracle I in 1997. So, guys, I little bit know a tech piece of it. But what I'm suggesting here is, if you do not have the so-called accomplishments, or if you think that this cannot be quantified or qualified as an accomplishment, then you talk about your aspirations. Now, aspirations can be the impact that you want to create, or aspirations can be the trajectory that you're looking at in terms of your career. There is nothing which you should think that ज़्यादा बोलेंगे तो it become narcissist or ऐसा वैसा कुछ नहीं होगा. There is a manner in which you use or you write these things. Call to action is very important and completely missing in most of the about sections, which means that you are directing your reader. Now, if I've invested in going so far in your profile, scrolling and reading the whole of your about section, if you tell me that, okay, if you're interested in these, I can help you with this. Hey, I had attempted these entrance exams and I have a fair amount of experience. So if you are struggling there, I can help you out. Or guys, if you're looking for an intern who's active, hungry for work or whatever, do reach out to me. These are the call to actions. Call to actions need not be a direct call to action in terms of job opportunity or work. It can also be how they can reach out to you. So who can reach out to you for what and how? So if you see and go and check out my about section, it very clearly states that DM me or send me an email. So we understand that what is your preferred mode of connecting with you.
Communication.
Yeah. Now, experience. Whatever experience, and I've already touched upon it a little bit, even if you had internships which were non-monetary, or if you have done some projects on a pro bono basis, it still counts as your experience. Please mention it. You may delete it later because now that you've acquired 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, enough experience that these becomes, these experience that you're going to write now, 10 saal ke baad it will become irrelevant, or at least, if not irrelevant, less relevant. So then you can update your profile and hide these experiences or edit these experiences. But right now, this is all we have to make ourselves stand out. This is all we have to build our credibility. And guys, please, if you really want to make your space and make your name or a career in this world, don't go always by acquiring knowledge from different webinars. And no, here you're good, but don't be a webinar junkie or a seminar junkie. Look also for real-time groundwork opportunities. They may make you feel uncomfortable. They may, like for instance, volunteering for a tech fest. Now, बहुतों को लगेगा waste of time है, but you will develop so many skills that you may not realize right now. And if you highlight that, people do need people who have other soft skills as well as hard skills. So how are you going to demonstrate those soft skills? So when it comes to experience, it's pretty much there. Extracurriculars have significance. So if you are part of, say, road track club or something, please highlight that. Projects, volunteer work that you're doing, internships, part-time jobs, whatever you have done, side hustles if you have any, please do mention that. Now, I've already covered, I believe, this topic, so I will just quickly move. When it comes to strategy on LinkedIn, you can't have an either or scenario. As in, you cannot be just having an optimized profile and writing content on an everyday basis. What is happening in that scenario is you are in your own well and you're being happy that you're being very engaging on LinkedIn. Nobody knows you. Maybe a handful of 50, 100, 500 at best people know you in first person, right? The point that I'm trying to make is you have to use both the push and pull strategy. By push, I mean you have to knock doors, make yourself visible by saying, hey, I am here, I do this, I do that. And how do you do that? Not by sliding in DM. Please don't spray and pray. What you should rather be doing is, for instance, if you are if you are fascinated by robotics, I'm just illustrating here, then look for people who are globally talking about this topic. Look for people who are industry veterans in this topic. Look for people who are influencers in this topic. You can pick their names from Twitter, pick their names from YouTube, and try and find them on LinkedIn. Even if you don't find them on LinkedIn as such, you can identify these people. Start engaging on their posts. If they are active on LinkedIn, writing posts every single day, start engaging on their posts. You may not have really valuable comment as such, because you're still learning. But if you have a query, or if you have a pertinent question which you would want, like, can you throw some light on this? I could not perhaps understand this from your post. This inquisitiveness will really get the attention. Genuineness, inquisitiveness always gets the attention. So don't be intimidated. Again, I'm using that word, by like, how can I possibly comment? Or don't go and comment the usual, like, thanks for sharing, good. If you can't find anything to comment, please go and do that thanks for sharing. At least you're doing something. But what I would suggest is invest time in reading the post, because you're acquiring knowledge through that. And if you really have some queries, or if you have read an article pertaining to that topic, or if you have had a conversation with a friend pertaining to that topic, you can mention those things in the comment. That means that gives the person who's written the post an idea as to how serious or how committed you are on this topic. That's how you gain the right eyeballs. So you have to use the push strategy. Send in connection request. When you're sending connection request, never ever send a connection request with a personalized note. Now, personalized note, you should never send it without doing enough research on the person that you wish to connect with. For instance, if you wish to send a connection request to me tomorrow, if you're just sending a connection request, chances are that I'm not going to accept it. But if you do say that yesterday I attended your session and these two things I was not able to understand, or if these two things were my key takeaways, now that's where I understand that you were paying attention. That's where I understand that you have an urge to learn, you have an urge to implement whatever we had discussed. Now, this is the way that you should be connecting with people and making yourself visible. So by push strategy means, say, hi, this is me. So how do you make yourself visible? By commenting on other people's posts, by endorsing other people, by viewing their profile, by sliding in DMs to start a conversation. These are the ways in which you make yourselves visible. By pull strategy, and I'm coming to one of the key questions that I have received, is by pull strategy is by sharing your thoughts. And all thoughts are thoughts. We adults always interact with our kids, right? So it's we don't undermine their thoughts, or we don't undermine that, okay, aapko to koi experience nahi, aap bakwas karo. No. So if you may not be in a position to lead someone, especially people who are senior to you, but you can definitely lead people who are junior to you, maybe a year or 2 years. So if you're a first year student, a 12th grader who's struggling to get into tech field or whatever, you can guide them in a way basis whatever experience that you have. Yes. You can also write content about the acquired knowledge that you've had. See, yesterday I went through this session which was conducted by Shweta, and these are things that she highlighted and which kind of ignited some thoughts on how differently LinkedIn should be used or something like that. You can create a post on that as a student. Still, it'll make some sense. It'll make some sense. So by pull strategy or writing posts on a daily basis, it does not really mean that you have to sound intellectual or you have to sound completely stupid. You can showcase that how committed you are to learning. So your day-to-day conversation with your profs, or some input that you've received and which triggered some book that you've read, some posts that you've read, some webinar that you've attended. People make a whole lot of personal brand by just sharing what they've acquired. You've got personal brands on Twitter doing that, you've personal brands on LinkedIn doing that, and you can do the same. So if I get a consolidated learning on a post, I may not, I am saved of investing so much time that you've already done in researching, right? So it's a value add for me. All the posts that you write should be a value add in some way. And this is the way, as a student, you can add value to your audience and impress upon your journey or your commitment to that particular specific topic or subject. Now, I've already spoken. The objective is very important. Like, whether you want to build a personal brand, as a student, I recommend that you focus on doing that in a very strategic manner, in the sense that don't do the push strategy and pull strategy all across. Do that in the sphere that you want to build your career in. So again, the industry, the domain, the niche that you wish to operate, वहां पे अपना एक personal brand create करो. Everything else will become a byproduct of that personal brand. The opportunities that you get, if you're good with public speaking, leverage that. If you're good with writing, leverage that. If you're good with video, leverage that. Always, guys, as students, I highly recommend that you work on your strengths. Don't try to work on your weaknesses. Just manage your weakness and work or ride on your strengths. That is the strategy that you should take lifelong, not just for building personal brand or not just for LinkedIn. We invest too much on, this is where I'm weak, and I focus all my energies, and my strength area also becomes weak because we are not riding there. So don't do that. Don't do that mistake. Now, if you see in both these cases, objective clarity gives you a target audience clarity. Target audience clarity gives you a clarity as to where you can reach out to and how you can make yourself visible. And then you can identify them, connect with them, and build your, network. Now, when pull strategy, again, if your objective is clear, you know what target audience is, you will also know where they are, what topics they are interested in, what kind of content that they usually engage in. Then you would be able to create that content, right? If you have thought about creating content, one piece of advice, or pro advice as you call it, is you need two kind of people to build a personal brand. One kind of people whom you would want to influence through your content, so that they can give you opportunities, they can expand your horizon. The second is people who would feed on your content. There'll be a lot of people who will be behind you in their career journey, and they will be feeding on your learning, on whatever that you are sharing, right? So you need both these type of people, because both together will help your content with a better outreach. So when you are drafting a content, be mindful of this. Now, as far as the connection strategy piece is concerned, how much time do we have in hand? We started a little late, so just
we started on 6:40, ma'am.
Okay, so we have till 7:40, or how much do we have? 7:40?
Yeah, 7:40.
Okay, I'll quickly wrap up now. So the network is of prime importance. If you could just mute yourself, please. So network, as I said, if you're sitting in your well and you're writing a good content, it is of no use. So the push strategy actually helps you build the network. I believe you guys know already that if I am connected with someone, that becomes my first connection, and their connection becomes my second connection. So it works in layers. So the ideal situation is, whosoever are your first connection, be mindful of connecting with them first. Now, they can be your relatives, extended relatives who have already made a mark in their career, because they will usually have a good network. You can have your alumni network. You can have network of your professors. You can have network of the institutions that you are associated with. So these are the first connections. Now, in once you're connected with them, explore their network. Other people's network are the first thing that you should be doing. So for instance, once you get connected with me, I become your first connection. My network will eventually become your second connection, which was earlier your third connection, because you were not connected to me. So that's how you tap into the inner circle. So if you guys play video games, you understand that, one level and second level and whatever. This is how you should work around. The second connection benefit is, the moment you wish to connect with someone, if you send a connection request and they find a couple of mutual connections, the chances are that they are going to accept your connection easily, because there is a trust element that is there. Audience composition, I believe that 30 to 50%, as I said, people who feed on your content and people whom you wish to influence or you wish to target. Now, if you're aspiring for internships and jobs, please look out for your dream companies. Look out for the people whom you would possibly be reporting into if you get that opportunity. Look out for HR recruiters in that particular company. Start connecting with them, start engaging on their content, start talking about the topics that they talk about through your posts. This is how you start getting their eyeballs. So if you are applying, or there can be a possible situation that if you've invested enough time in engaging with a person, you can slide in a DM saying that these are the things that I'm keen on. If you happen to get any opportunity, this is where I would want to focus my attention. This is how you make yourself visible. First 5,000 connection, I recommend strictly add people from your target audience, because then that will accelerate whatever content that you're sharing going to the right eyes. Also, now that you have creator mode, there are a whole lot of opportunities that has come. I don't know how much I will be able to cover in great detail, but do explore creator mode. It also helps with SEO searchability. Now, always comment on LinkedIn news posts, but don't try to comment just because you have to comment, because then you're portraying a bad image. I have seen people commenting on LinkedIn news who has nothing to do with that particular topic whatsoever, and you understand that they are only here as an attention seeker. Don't ever do that. Where is your audience? People also viewed, people you may know. These are the places, guys. If you feel like taking a screenshot, take a screenshot or go back and watch the video again and again. But this is the way, yes, searches and advanced searches and Boolean searches and all that can fetch you, reach to the target audience. But these are the low hanging fruits. So try and connect with these people first. How do you connect? When you visit anyone's profile, they get to know that you've visited. If they are using premium, they get to know who has visited. Obviously, when you're sending a connection request, messaging in mail, if you have a premium, I don't advise students to go and use the premium right from day one. Once you have acquired a certain knowledge, you've built an optimized profile, you've engaged, you know everything, you've done that for 3 to 6 months, then use the free version for 1 month and leverage it to the T. I see people just opening up the premium account, thinking that they'll be able to leverage on the day one. It doesn't work. You lose that opportunity. and always be mindful when they are going to renew it in an automated manner. So be mindful of that date. But yes, LinkedIn Learning comes to you free. There are a whole lot of advantages that you get, but I would strictly say that do that once you have done a good amount of homework on LinkedIn, engaging on LinkedIn, posting on LinkedIn. All that has already been done, and you know that okay, this 1 month I'll have considerable time to invest on LinkedIn Learning or do advanced searches and all. That's where you should invest on your premium. Now obviously, one piece of advice that I would want, and this has worked for me, and I believe, and you guys, like, this generation is not all that shy, I believe. But if you are one of those introverts, and I got this question, uh, uh, the best is text is a very good way of reaching out for introverts. So LinkedIn helps you to a larger extent. But whenever this thought comes to me, or that little voice comes in your head, just talk to yourself that kya hi ho jayega. Just say, and this works. Trust me. What worse can happen here? Nothing, right? Kya hoga? You will not get that opportunity, or you will not be, the connection request will not be accepted. What worst can happen? Nothing, right? But there are a whole lot of opportunities that can happen. So just when you're stuck with that little voice in your head, just say kya hi ho jayega? Let me try. Okay. Best practices, I've already spoken. Whenever anybody is posting something on a topic that you wish to post, look at how these industry leaders have shared their learning using personal anecdotes, how you can do the same, whatever little that you have to share. Try and understand, not just so I will just say one thing. When you are writing the post, write from the reader's mindset. So if you were the reader of the same post, how would you respond? And when you are reading, read from the writer's mindset. That if you had to write on this topic, how perhaps you would have written. This hack, every time it works. Because then, our mind starts floating. Okay, once we get into that content creation mode, unless and until we are just absorbing content from the reader mindset, it will not work. But whenever you are reading any post, read from the writer's mindset. And when you are writing, write from the reader's mindset so that it resonates with the reader, you get better engagement. These are the do's. I would skip telling everything because I have covered. Recommendations is something that I've not covered, and I wish to just quickly touch upon in less than 2 minutes. Recommendations is where your story, whatever you've written in your profile, is validated. There's another place that you can validate your story is in the media. So if you're saying you headed this position, you did this, you were participating here, that, if you got pictures, if you got certificates, do put up in the experience media section. Relevant media, in relevant experiences, everywhere you have media section. Please put that. In relevant experiences, whatever relevant skills that you develop, hard and soft both, please put that. These all will help you with the searchability or discoverability, as you call it. Always ask for recommendations in a holistic manner. For students, you can ask from your teachers who are active on LinkedIn. You cannot ask recommendations from another LinkedIn user. No. You have to have worked in some capacity with the person you're asking a recommendation from. They should be either your teachers, profs, or you would have done internships with them, or you would have done some projects with them. This is how you can only ask recommendations. Or if you have been speaking publicly, then what are places that you took some sessions or spoke, or if you're past part of Toastmasters, etc., then you can also highlight that. But recommendation is the place that you should focus your attention, because that is a game changing in terms of building credibility. I have been receiving send me a recommendation from people who are just connected to me. This is ridiculous. I don't know you as a professional apart from whatever you're showcasing. So yes, I do trust you to some extent, but I cannot validate that because I don't have a first hand experience. Once I have a first hand experience, then I can. So don't reach out to people who are just connected with you and have nothing to do with you professionally. Okay, it will backfire. Don't. Uh, I see people. So I had a discovery call with a student. Usually, students don't book my discovery calls. I only have clientele who are senior leaders or CFOs or founders. But this was one odd case. And this gentleman was into content writing as a side hustle, freelance content writer he wanted to become. And on his profile, he had written San Francisco and he was living in Pune. So I asked him that why you've written this. He said, I want to solicit clients who are in US. And then I asked him that what if you get on a call and they figure out that you're not from San Francisco? How do you explain? So I say that, I was working from home, or I say that I just wrote this. Now, if you are sitting on the call with a person like this, would you trust him with your work? There is enough. All this is like 6 महीने में मैंने इतने करोड़ बना लिए, 6 महीने में मैंने इतने लाख बना लिए. If that is what excites you, please go ahead and make money. But I am a person who would not advocate that. I would always advocate to build an authentic personal brand, which will be standing rock solid as an asset for you lifelong. So nobody can question your authenticity 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line by looking at just your LinkedIn profile. If you've been able to build that, you're able to build a sound professional reputation. This is an ebook, guys. Whosoever is watching this, you can just scan this and download this ebook for free. For students, I do get a little liberal. So please go ahead and start your LinkedIn journey. This is me. If you wish to connect with me, I would love to. And one small request that I have, and I don't know how to go about doing it. So can someone do that for me?
Yes, ma'am.
So there is this Trustpilot link that I wish to share with all the attendees today. So you just do share, don't just share the rating, just do share whatever you've learned, couple of takeaways, how did you find the session, and honest response I would really appreciate that. And over to questions. I'm open for another 10 minutes. So if we have any pertinent questions which I may not have been able to cover, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So before that, we had a lot of questions from the Google form that we put out. I sent ma'am those and she really covered them, especially you would know, right? There are questions like introvert, मैं introvert too, how do I do this, right? So apart from that, if there are any questions in the chat, can the volunteers and can they go through and, if there are any questions. Also, guys, as ma'am said, you guys can make a post, right, of what you learned today. I'm surely going to do that, and you can post a relevant questions, queries in that, right. It will showcase that you are interested in this and you are really serious about it, as well as she will have a reason to really connect with you. And yeah, so do we have any questions?
How the people in the room found the session? Worthwhile? Something they discovered? Thank you. So before we wrap up the session, there's one quick hack that I want to tell all the students. If you are really, really desperate or very keen on getting in touch with someone and who has put up a setting where you get to know their emails to get connected with them, there is a way around. You look at their profile and see which groups are they part of. Try and connect, try and join these groups. Once you're part of the group, then you can send a message, even if you do not have a premium account, even if you do not if even if you are not connected with them. Within the group you can send a message. But the message has to be powerful for them to accept it, and then eventually you'll be connected. So this is a way you should have a thought through messaging, why you wish to connect with them, a pertinent query or a pertinent ask. Okay, so that is one hack that I wanted to share. LinkedIn events, which are live, LinkedIn lives, do make, do attend those events. Once you attend, all the other attendees you get an access to directly message them. So if, for instance, citing the previous example, robotics, if you have an event, LinkedIn live event, free event that is happening, you get to see all the other people who are attending and like-minded people interested in the same topic, right? So you can send a message if you can find. These are the hacks where you can reach out to your target audience quickly, the shortcuts, if I may use that word. Any question we have been able to find? The Coders Roundtable, आपका नाम क्या है, sir?
It was basically, so to give a little of story, actually Yashita doesn't have a lot of time, so I will wrap this up quickly. So it was basically ki first year mein, we saw that there are a lot of problems, in basic subjects that we would have. So for that, we created it, first of all, me and Atrey. So we took up events. She handled a tech side more. I handled the more managerial and marketing side, right? And then it grew. Today we have, like, it covers this a whole lot of second year in our college as well as the first year. Also, the fact that there are, I guess, some issues in the college where you cannot exactly, there is a lot of janjat for calling people from outside if they are not the alumni. So this is also a way around of that.
Backdoor
Yeah.
entry.
Yeah, of sorts. So, and it was amazing session, and it really, as you just said, volunteering at a tech fest, this is the same way of for us, from doing everything, all the way from texting, approaching, to all this organizing. It teaches you a lot, man. And I'm grateful for this session. It really blew my expectations. I heard a lot from the SIS people, from the marketing as well as the teams. Yeah, ma'am, I heard a lot that your session was amazing.
I have a 21-year-old. He is about to get into SAP Labs, again a tech guy, and I have an 18-year-old. And trust me, when I have to approach 20-year-olds, I really freeze because it's hard for me to impress them. So I keep thinking it's even harder to impress other strangers. So I'm glad that you guys
No,
like
you
this.
really demystified LinkedIn, and people really, it's both. It goes both ways. It's like people also think that is very easy. It's nahi, itna kuch nahi hai. On the other, it's just like other social media. On the other side, when they see actually how LinkedIn is, they see all the profiles, right? They think that is too much, right? A lot of them quit. So it was great demystification from your side. Simply amazing. There are a lot of takeaways and a lot of going through my head. I was writing, actually. I made notes, right? I was
Thank
going
you.
through. Yeah. It's
Any questions that we've been able to trace? Anything that I can answer, or we wrap this?
uh, there are, I guess. Just a second.
Someone lives nearby a station, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. I do. Sorry. Okay, it was a lot is actually covered, and it's like, yeah. There was one. it was, I guess, not answered here, as well as someone in the chat too, that the posts. Okay, so how many posts? So there are people who don't exactly want to be full time, influence on LinkedIn, right? They don't want to create like a totally LinkedIn ka. And a lot of you see that they get jobs and they become very inactive on LinkedIn, right? So where, how important is the consistency, and how often should you keep it up? You answered that question of sorts, but it's for that you joined something, you join an organization, should you still continue it?
Yes, you should. In fact, all the more. See, because the moment you stop doing it, you are not building personal brand as an asset, which is agnostic of where you're working. You're
Hmm.
no longer, someone working at the Citibank or someone working at McKinsey or someone working at SAP Labs or whatever that company may be. Now
Hmm.
you are someone by name. You have your own branding. You have your own equity, if I may use that word. Now, to come to how you can remain consistent, two posts in a week is a comfortable space. Now, when I say two posts, be mindful that if you decide to post on a Tuesdays and a Thursdays, or a Tuesdays and a Friday, stick to that consistency, because if people like your content, they will be looking up every Tuesday, they will be looking up every Friday. So ऐसा मत करो कि you post Monday and Wednesday one week, post Tuesday and Friday one week. Don't do that. Choose the dates, post every single time at 9 a.m. in the morning. Please don't post whenever you feel like, because LinkedIn people only use during office hours. Once they get out of the office, they are in a different mental zone. Now if you
Hmm.
have to reach them, you will have to reach them via YouTube and Instagram and all other places. But for LinkedIn, you need to focus on your content to be posted by 9, at best 10, so that there is a whole lot of time for people to engage on that content. Because LinkedIn में क्या होता है, when you're posting a content, immediately everybody is not notified.
Correct.
Only 10, 15, 30 people will be notified. Now, if they do not engage in the
Hmm.
first hour, then LinkedIn thinks this is a sad post. They will not, help you with the outreach. But if you get a good
Okay.
traction on the first 1 hour, they will throw at more people. So I recommend two posts. Weekends में बैठ के वो दो posts लिख लो. There are different ways on, बहुत सारे फंडास देते हैं लोग, गूगल शीट बनाओ, ट्रेलो पे करो, ये करो, इतना मत जाओ आप, टेक अपना टेक संभालो. एक सिंपल वर्ड डॉक में दो पोस्ट लिख दो, ठीक है. और एक चीज मैं आपसे कहूंगी, as far as engagement is concerned, commenting on 3 relevant posts is doable every single day.
Hmm.
It just maintain that, because
Hmm.
when you are commenting, you're reading. When you are reading, you're getting ideas. So you are it's a ek teer se do shikar scenario, wherein you are getting ideas for your content and you're still creating visibility.
Correct.
So the three posts on three comments on relevant posts is what I recommend every single day, and two posts in a week is what I recommend for keeping the consistency going.
Hmm. All right. Okay. So I don't see many questions other than that. And Yashita also has to speak, and she's running a bit late. So, okay, I'll introduce her quickly. Thanks a lot, ma'am. So she's a third year graduate, undergraduate student pursuing developmental studies from IIT Madras. She's a core team member at Entrepreneurship Cell, and she believes that entrepreneurship, it's more about starting a new venture. It's not that, it's a way of life. Primarily, she's interested in governance and public policies. She's a lot into human rights, as ma'am was talking about, that people have these passions, right? And she wants to establish a career in the same field. So currently she's interning at Quopita in the capacity of a content strategist. So mic over to you, Yashita Jain.
I'm all ears, Yashita, as far as your content strategist.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Am I audible? Is it pretty clear?
Yeah, you are audible, Yashita.
Okay. First of all, ma'am, I have a bit of cold, so I'm sorry if I'm not very clear with my voice. First of all, I would like to say a very warm thank you to ma'am. Ma'am, I loved all the thoughts that you shared with us today. I personally learned a lot. Now I think I know I am a step forward, or I am a notch forward to leverage LinkedIn to its full capacity in the fields I like as well. Other than that, I agree with all the points you shared. Everyone who is listening to us, I am definitely a very sound supporter of the fact that LinkedIn is definitely a better place than Instagram. So if you think people are not replying to you on Instagram, don't worry. People on LinkedIn usually reply. People on LinkedIn are good. Even like I would say, the world is a better place in LinkedIn. Is what I believe. So if any one of you have a fear that people will not reply to me, or my thoughts would not be validated, or my opinions would be neglected on a space that is so huge and so diverse, please, I think it's the right time to get rid of that thought. LinkedIn is a place, I believe, which helps everyone to grow in a similar format, because that's one place where there's no barrier. You leave what you are living, what your inabilities or inherencies or whatever, say, your incapacities, your doubts, your fears, uh, at a back seat, and you take a new profile, a new identity as you build your profile, or I would say your portfolio on LinkedIn. So all those misinhibitions you have with LinkedIn, I think it's right time to leave them behind. And whatever ma'am said today, I think all of us should really acknowledge it and try to adopt it in some way or the other.
Yeah. Okay, so you are representing basically the ESL, and our students had a lot of questions on how the procedure at IIT Madras incubation cell works. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so how many of the audience is actually an entrepreneurially motivated audience, or is it majorly a tech oriented audience?
It's majorly a tech oriented. It's majorly tech oriented, but
So
however there are entrepreneurs because it's a vast this.
Oh, okay. So usually, if I'm looking at tech entrepreneurs rather than entrepreneurs in general, is what I'm gonna base my answer
Yeah,
on. I'll first explain about ESL, or any entrepreneurial body you may find in most of the colleges these days. So entrepreneurial bodies and institutions like IITs basically function to promote, nurture, or I would say support entrepreneurial ventures. Entrepreneurial bodies become a safe space for us to nurture entrepreneurial ideas among people, to train them about how a venture actually works, to connect them with the right-minded people, and to if you want me to say in some cliche or fancy words, to give their ideas a little bit of wing. So we at ESL believe, even if we help one person to connect with the right person, or make his ideas help him make his ideas into a reality, it's a big success for us. So usually entrepreneurial bodies, be it government backed entrepreneurial bodies, or be it bodies in premier institutions or educational institutions, they usually focus on promoting entrepreneurship as a new method of career, or as a new option of career, because since through years we have seen that a lot of misconceptions have been attached to entrepreneurship,
correct.
because people think it's not a very viable career option. People think that there are a lot of risk associated with it, or success rate is very low. There are 100 times of misconceptions. So we at ESL try to mitigate them, try to remove them, and try to actually tell what entrepreneurship in reality is.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
your question to me was about incubation in short.
Yes,
So I'll
yes.
also I'll also cover incubation. At IIT Madras we have two incubation cells. One is Nirman, that is only for IIT Madras students. So it's an in-house early in-house incubation cell for early age startups. That's Nirman. I don't think we have IITM audience here. So the other is IIT Incubation Cell, which is also known as IITM Research Park. It is India's first university-based research park. Other than that, it provides incubation to a lot of startups. You have a simple application process. You have to submit a pitch deck. If your pitch gets approved by the managing body at the research park, you get incubated in the research park in exchange of some equity. Almost all incubation cells function in a similar way. They demand some equity from you. And then you get incubated. So some of the advantages of getting incubated once you're starting a venture is that these incubation cells take care of all the space, electricity, I would say all infrastructural demands a startup needs. Plus, these incubation cells also train you a lot because they have the right people sitting there. They have the right people to teach you. So suppose a tech person comes in, but he or she does not know about how a logistics or how an HR related or how a communications related aspect of a venture takes place. So these incubation cells make sure that the training process of every startup which gets incubated in their program gets a proper training, goes through a proper training process. Other than that, these incubation cells also are a very good place for connecting with new people, because a lot of startups come in to these research park. A lot of delegates, entrepreneurs, entrepreneurially motivated students, government officials, government machinery. A lot of people visits to these incubation cells very often, because everyone is in need of innovation. Everyone is looking forward to innovation. So if you all are looking to get your startup incubated, I think you can try an incubation cells. Definitely, not only IITM incubation cells, there are numerous incubation cells in India. If you have a very good prototype, you can also try Atal Innovation Mission's incubation cell. So Atal Innovation Mission is government of India's foremost body that is promoting entrepreneurship on the national scale. So
Ma'am
you
is a
can
mentor.
try.
Ma'am is a mentor there. So basically, that's
Oh,
Yeah.
a small world.
Yeah.
Nice. So yes, you can try at incubation cells like this. Probably some major government college of your own state provides incubation facilities similar to IIT Madras. So you can look to an incubation cell nearby, because Chennai would not be feasible for everyone to commute to. And if you want to know more about IITM Research Park's incubation cell, feel free to ping me anytime later, either on my LinkedIn or on my LinkedIn, or I'll share my mail ID here. I'll definitely get you in touch with the right person from IITM Research Park, from which you can coordinate further about your incubation process.
Okay. So, since I know you are running a bit late, so I'll be brief about this. So, Coders Roundtable loved working with you guys. I had all the support when I was approaching you, and from the management second year team to all the way to you, reaching out to you, and it was great journey. And as you said, depending on the success of this, we can have both online and offline events, right, in our own college, in our own community, in association with ESL IITM. So it was lovely. It was great to ma'am Shweta ma'am and Yashita. It was great to have you guys over here today, right? It was a lovely session, and it's the after the Christmas weekend, right? So the year is ending on a great note for our community and us. We are blessed by this. Thank you so much, right? And we hope to keep having these sessions. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, ma'am, your mic is
Yes. Ma'am, you're muted.
All you guys have a rocking 2023 and a rocking party before that. So have a loads of fun. and then get serious with LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
one
bye.
last thought from myself. If any one of you wants any help with the field related to entrepreneurship, please feel free to ask anyone associated with ESL IIT Madras, or him as well. He is now connected with us, so I'm pretty sure he'll be equipped with solving a lot of your problems too. So feel free to reach out to us, and we have in-house facilities, we have in-house speakers, in-house industry experts to help you clear all your doubts at any place. um, Also, as Harsh has already mentioned, we are open to offline events as well, and we are open to any sort of connecting and networking event. So if anything in that capacity is happening, please let us know.
Yeah.
Also, everyone have a very happy new year, and I hope you had a great Christmas.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so
So
much.
with this, we can, end the session.